and welcome to another rendition of the Filmstrip Arcade. I'm Justin Teeter.
And I'm Alger.
And today we're going to review The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings,
and Fall of Cybertron.
So, sit down, grab a snack, and enjoy this review.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Yes. Alright, so Lord of the Rings. For one who's read the original book, The Fellowship of the Ring, I have to say that the movie, although it's like only 2 hours long if you've seen the theatrical version, it does follow the book thoroughly. Even the whole like 80-page party beginning where Bilbo Baggins disappears and he has an obsession with this powerful ring that he acquired in his previous adventure from 50 years ago, and therefore Gandalf arrives asking for the ring back.
Yes, and turns out the ring belongs to a dark overlord by the name of Sauron.
But Sauron's dead, but not in spirit. But now he's in spiritual form, and he's having influence on pretty much everyone in the kingdom of Middle Earth. Oh wait, not the kingdom. The world of Middle Earth.
You can probably imagine he wants his ring back because that's the source of his power.
So he sends these 9 Grim Reaper-looking ring wraiths who seek out the ring just to revive their master.
So the ring is then given to Bilbo's nephew, Frodo, who has to take the ring someplace safe so the Nazgul can't find it. And he's joined by his best friend Sam Gamgees and 2 other hobbits, Merry and Pippin.
Yes, and Gandalf accompanies them and searches for more members to accompany them in hopes of taking them to the Fellowship to acquire more members for their adventure to protect them from Sauron's evil followers.
And who do they get? Well, they get Aragorn, who's supposed to be the future king of Man, Legolas, an elf, Gimli, a dwarf, and Boromir, a human warrior.
Yes, they're all played by very talented British and American actors.
Yes, you have Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn.
You have Orlando Bloom as the mighty Legolas.
And you have Sean Bean as Boromir, and for you Sean Bean fans, you know it's not going to end well for him.
Oh, let's not mention that the Hobbit, Frodo Baggins, is played by the talented Elijah Wood.
But the best of them all is Ian McKellen as Gandalf.
Oh, yes. We have Saruman, played by Christopher Lee, who, interestingly enough, actor who met J.R.R. Tolkien, the author of the book, and he originally wanted to play as Gandalf, which was his favorite character in the book.
But as we all know, Christopher Lee is most famous for playing villains, so...
Like the mighty Count Dracula and Fu Manchu.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about some other things, like the cinematography, I think, is great. I mean, the entire film is filmed in Peter Jackson's home country in New Zealand.
Yeah. And
it just fits perfect with the...
scenery,
yes.
Especially Hobbiton.
Exactly. And the effects are really good, particularly the effects on the Balrog.
Oh, yes. I gotta say, this movie, I have to warn you viewers, is filled with CG, but it's done so perfectly, even for 2001 standards.
Exactly.
It actually looks very real.
Real, I know. And the action is really good, too.
Yes, especially Mines of Moria.
Yeah, the Mines of Moria. That was probably one of the coolest action scenes. Especially like the fight with that big troll, that was awesome.
Oh yes, that was just perfect. And it's like the ending itself, it really wants you leaving more, and it does end on a cliffhanger warning, but this movie is best viewed as a trilogy, and even as a standalone film, it's still a very good movie, and I highly recommend it to all viewers of action films and fantasy genre.
I mean, Yeah, definitely a fantasy. I mean, the Lord of the Rings books by J.R.R. Tolkien actually kind of redefined the fantasy genre.
Yeah, so I would have to give the green light to all viewers, even if you're not an action or fantasy genre film. If you like a good, well-written story and a good book adaptation, this is the movie for you.
Well, I definitely give it the green light, Alec. I do agree this is probably one of the best, if not the best, film adaptations of a book. I mean, I read parts of the book.
Yeah.
But overall, I will say this is a really good film. It's beautifully shot, well acted, and yeah, you should definitely go see it.
Definitely. So, we'll be right back after these messages
To review Fall of Cybertron.
We are back, and we're going to review Transformers Fall of Cybertron for the PS3, Xbox 360, and PC.
Alright, exactly. Now, Alec, would you like to go over the gameplay?
The gameplay is it's a mix of a third-person shooter and kind of like a Need for Speed game, and it's instead of ducking, you just transform into a vehicle, like the title promise. They're Transformers. They're going to transform,
and transforming is really fun to do.
Yeah, especially with Optimus and stuff. He it turns into that car and just to speed through the level, but he can also shoot while in car mode, and it's really cool.
Exactly, and also, however, it does have a cover mechanic in which you can switch your gun arm, to hide behind the side of things. Unlike Gears of War, you don't duck under things, you have to hide from the side of things.
Definitely.
But also what's pretty interesting is the weapons. You can upgrade your weapons.
Oh, definitely. And another thing, the character models are based off the Generation 1 Transformer designs from the original 80s cartoon, and it doesn't look like them, but they made the graphical detail very shiny and nice to look at, even for Starscream.
Yes, and I think we should talk about the story.
Yeah.
Because, unlike the other two games we reviewed, this one actually has one. Okay, the premise is this. It takes place before the Transformers arrived on Earth, when they're still on their home planet Cybertron. Basically, their planet is dying. It's running low on energon, which is, as you all know, is their life, the thing that gives them life. And they have to leave to survive, but both Autobots and Decepticons run low on energon and have to find more in order to leave Cybertron.
So, as Justin explained, Megatron, the leader of Decepticons, wants Optimus Prime and all Autobots dead. And even though their planet is blowing up around them, it's not like they can just team up and escape the planet.
No, and one thing I should mention is how good a fan service they do. I mean, if you're a Transformers fan, you're going to love this, because they do stick pretty faithful to Generation 1. And they pretty much throw in a lot of fan favorite things from the Transformers, ranging from Metroplex to the freaking Dinobots and the Insecticons to Bruticus. And yeah, I know as you Transformer fans are thinking, and yeah, I was disappointed how it was Bruticus instead of Devastator, but it's not a big deal.
And for someone who's not a fan of the franchise and don't know any of the characters he just mentioned, except for, of course, the basic Megatron, Starscream, and Optimus Prime, I want to learn more about these characters, and this game kind of got me into the franchise, and now I want to watch the original cartoon and see what happens after the fall of Cybertron.
Yes, and another thing I will bring, this is really cool, is that how each character kind of has a special move. Like, for example, Optimus can, control Metroplex. Jazz can use, his grappling hook. Cliffjumper can turn invisible. Megatron can, hover for a little bit. And Soundwave can, summon out his little minions.
Yes.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
And this game also has some pretty decent voice acting. I mean, as usual, you have, Peter Cullen reprising his role as Optimus. But we have new ones. We have, we have Troy Baker providing the voice of Jazz and Jetfire, Nolan North providing the voice for Cliffjumper, and Steve Blum doing multiple voices in it. And we also have Greg Burge reprising his role as Grimlock. Though this Grimlock is a little different than the original Grimlock. This one is more vengeful and doesn't like talk in like a third-person perspective. But I will say this, and fans are going to be disappointed, and yeah, I was pretty disappointed too, is the fact that they did not get Frank Welker to do Megatron. I mean, just a little thing, but still, that's like having Kevin Conroy do the voice of Batman and not have Mark Hamill do the voice of the Joker.
Which happened in Arkham's Origins. So.
Yeah, but, I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy who plays Megatron, Fred Tatasciore, I think that's how you pronounce it, I mean, he does a really good job, and he does sound legitimately menacing. Unlike some voices they've given him.
We Predacons have never abandoned our rightful goal of galactic conquest. No, we have merely been waiting for the right moment to strike.
You mean like this?
Teeter! Ah, a treacherous, underhanded sneak attack. Oh, I like you, pussycat. Yes. But it shall avail you not. No, for now the power gauntlet has been cast. Predacons, terrorize!
And like the new voice actor for Megatron, he, like Justin said, he is very menacing, and he does remind me a bit of General Zod from the Superman comics. He's just out, he doesn't care his planet's being destroyed, he wants the Autobots dead, and he's like a genocidal maniac, kind of like, he's basically the Hitler of Cybertron.
Yeah, exactly. And also what I think is really cool is there are lines and scenes from this game that are taken directly from Transformers, the movie from 1986.
So overall, I would give this game a green light, especially to the Transformers fans out there, and for those who are looking at the franchise but are not too sure if they want to invest their time in it. I recommend getting this game, but first get War of Cybertron, since Fall of Cybertron is a sequel to it.
Yes, and I give it the green light for Transformer fans. If you are a Transformer fan, you should definitely buy this game. But I give it the yellow light if you're a casual gamer, like if you've played, because if you're used to third-person shooters like Gears of War, this is going to take a lot of getting used to, so yeah, green light. But I love this game. I think it's probably the best reinterpretation of the Transformer franchise, and I'm really looking forward to them doing a sequel when they're finally on Earth, and hopefully by then we'll be able to see Devastator in his original G1 design rather than looking like a walking junk pile of a wrecking ball.
Thank you for watching the Filmstrip Arcade. I'm Alger.
And I'm Justin Teeter, and remember to stay awesome.
The sparkling drinks are just dandy, the chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.